All right, Shalom, Shalom, Israel. This is Brother Azariah from W5 Jersey, Philly, coming back with another video, giving all honor and glory to the Most High Yahweh, which the world calls God, and Yahweh Shai, which the world calls Jesus Christ. Shalom, Shalom. Our Lord willing, you brothers and sisters, you're increasing in your faith, and Lord willing, you're also increasing in your wisdom, knowledge, and understanding in these last days. All right, so with that being said, I want to give some quick exhortation. All right, I'm going to open up with Sirach 11 and verse 10. This is the book of Sirach 11 and verse 10. It says, "My son, meddle not with many matters." So the Lord doesn't want you to be in many matters. What does that mean? All right, you're in this man's business. You're in this man's business. Then you're over here doing this. Now you're doing that. The Lord doesn't want you to be a busybody in this truth. All right, basically, the Lord doesn't want you to be the brother or sister in the truth that just got the drop on everything. Remember when you was in high school or middle school, you always had that one Jake. He said, yo, don't you know, at 2 o'clock, hey, such and such, they going to fight at 2 o'clock over here. And you're like, how the hell you know that? And he said, don't worry about that. Just be there. All right? Then the next time he come, there's going to be a party over here at such and such. And you're like, what the hell? How do you know this? He said, well, just be there. All right? This brother or sister, he knows she has the drop on everything. All right? You don't want to be that type of person in this truth. All right? Something come up and you're like, oh, yeah, I know about that. And then you kind of in the next man's business too. All right, the Lord doesn't want you in everybody's business. Let me get this precept real quick. This is the book of 1 Peter 4 and verse 15. All right, in this truth, you really want to mind your business. All right, you don't really want to be doing too much in this thing. All right, this is the book of 1 Peter 4 and verse 15. And it reads, it says, but let none of you suffer as a murderer. All right, so the Lord's saying through Paul, the Lord's saying, he says, let none of you suffer as a murderer. So don't be a murderer. All right, or as a thief. The Lord's telling you not to be a thief. All right, or as an evildoer, you always in mischief, or as a busybody in other men's matters. So the Lord doesn't want you in another man's business, man. Now, if the brother comes and tells you himself, okay, that's fine. The sister comes and tells you their self, all right, that's fine. But as far as you kind of snooping around like a damn dog, you know those detective dogs, they got the K9 unit. They use the K9 unit, all right, to damn sniff out drugs, all right, to basically find things out, all right. The K9, those dogs, they're not minding their business. They're doing the exact opposite of that. All right, in this truth, there's no time for that. To be sniffing and snooping around and you trying to dig this up. You trying to dig that up. You kind of heard this happen, then you're like, oh, I got to find out what's going on. Are you trying to get into somebody else's business? Let me read this one more time. This is the book of 1 Peter 4 and 15. But let none of you suffer as a murderer or as a thief or as an evildoer, or as a busybody in other men's matters. All right, let me get another one. This is the book of Proverbs 27 and verse 16. I believe that's what I want. Salakia, maybe 29, 16. Okay, that precept kind of slipped my mind. I believe it's the 27th chapter, or 26 and 17. This is the book of Proverbs 26 and verse 17. It says, he that passeth by and meddleth with strife belonging not to him is like one that taketh a dog by the ears. So sometimes in this truth, for example, we know in the Old Testament, we know Moses, he slew the Egyptian. All right, he seen that his brother was being dealt with in an ill manner. He said, know what? Ain't nobody's here. Kind of put that Egyptian to death. Now, does that mean now that we know we're Israelites and we know Esau's the enemy, then when you see Esau harassing Jake, All right, he got Jake in handcuffs. Does that mean you go over there and you kind of say, "What are you doing, you Edomite? The Lord going to destroy you." Then you trying to interfere and trying to put the Edomite to death. That's going off. You can't do that in this time. All right, every man is not the same. I'm not Moses, so I don't have the same mercies that Moses had. All right, Moses, he may have gotten away with that, but you may not get away with that. All right, let me read this one more time. It says, "He that passeth by," because you just walking by, you was doing your own thing. You had no intentions of getting into this, but you kind of seen it. "And meddleth with strife belonging not to him." So you got, again, I gave the scenario, you got the Edomite cop or Moabite cop, whatever. He's dealing with a Jake, all right, and they're having a confrontation. That doesn't say you go over there and try to do something about it. All right, you got to just leave it alone. That's not your business. Let me get a precept before I keep going. This is the book of Ecclesiastes 5 and verse 8. All right. This is Ecclesiastes 5 and verse 8. It says, "If thou seest the oppression of the poor," were the poor, the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. And also you may actually see the physical poor out there. All right. It says, "If thou seest the oppression of the poor and violent perverting of judgment and justice in a province," hey, this will be a province. Whatever city you're in, you live in Chicago, that's a province. All right. You may live in Manhattan, that's a province. So you may be in a city and you see that wickedness is going on. You know how Esau deal. Esau is not dealing according to the laws of God. They're dealing by their own laws, and their laws aren't based off of righteousness. So that would be let me read this again. Violent perverting of judgment. So they violently pervert judgment. They're supposed to protect and serve, but then, instead of them protecting and serving, they putting people to death. And it's really brothers and sisters that look like me and you. They're putting you to death. All right, that's a violent perverting of judgment. The Lord says, when you see that, marvel not at the matter. You don't sit there and you kind of, damn, what's going on? Brother, you know what's going on. You just got to think, how did you come in the truth? By the curses of Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter. He told you will be cursed in the city and you'll be cursed in the field. So when you go in the city and you see that our people are strung out on drugs, they doing heroin, you got brothers out there sleeping on the ground. You don't marvel at that because it's not confounding. We already know that that's happening. Why? Because we broke God's commandments. Just like when you see Jake being harassed by a cop or whatever the case may be, you don't marvel at it and say, what the hell's going on? I got to do something about it. Don't try to be a superhero in this truth. All right? We're not superheroes, man. All right? The Lord didn't set us up and say, go out there and be a superhero. No, all you got to do is establish the law and push the law. The law is also telling you right here, we're reading it, all right? He says, marvel not at the matter, for he that is higher than the highest regardeth. So you over these cops, you'll have sheriffs, then you'll have the man that sits in the office that doesn't really go out and do much work. He just sits there and calls the shots. You have him. All right, and then you got the FBI, you got the CIA, all right, you got these different agents, all right, these higher ups, and then you got the president and so on and so forth. The Lord said, hey, he's higher than all of those, and he's regarding it. Remember, the Lord don't sleep. He's not taking a break, all right? The Lord doesn't take commercial breaks, timeouts. I gotta catch my breath. All right, and then that one moment he's trying to catch his breath, wickedness is taking place, and he kind of couldn't do nothing about it because he was tired. That's not what happens. The Lord, he's regarding all things. Everything that's happening, the Lord's considering it. The Lord's pondering it. All right? You gotta wait, man. The Lord gonna bring judgment on the earth. All right, let me read this one more time. It says, for he that is higher than the highest regardeth, and he that is higher is Yahweh. All right, he's higher than the highest. It says, and there be higher than they. All right. So the Lord, and he got the situation. The Lord will take care of it. Just so, for example, if you go out there, all right, let's go back to the George Floyd situation. We already know how that went down. Now, if you were to somehow see that taking place on the street, you don't go and try to put the Edomite or the cop to death. Or you start putting your hands on the cop. You don't do that. Because then you're going to put your hands on this man, and now you got your hands filthy. And you really don't know why the cop has apprehended this brother. This brother could have just committed murder, all right, and then he apprehended him. Then you coming and being over righteous, all right, and you trying to save him. You don't even know what the hell he did. Didn't the Lord say examine the matter first, then rebuke? All right, so you got to take all these precepts into account. Let's go back to Sirach 11 and verse 10. It says, my son, meddle not with many matters. For if thou meddle much, if you doing too damn much, you sniffing around too damn much, you always minding somebody else's business. All right, stay in your own lane. All right. It says, for if thou meddle much, thou shalt not be innocent. So if you were to go out there and put your hand on a cop because you seeing the oppression of your people, you will no longer be innocent. You were innocent when you was walking past. All right. Then you would have been innocent. But then you being nosy, being over righteous, you looked, seeing what was going on, and now you think you can go and put your hands on somebody. All right, and you could kind of bring forth justice. That's not for you to do. All right, you're really nobody right now. You really got to keep your nose in the sand if you have ears to hear. Us brothers that's teaching the word, when we teach, yes, we rebuking these Edomites and getting on them, because that's the time to do so. But then when we go home, all right, if we have to, yeah, we'll rebuke an Edomite. He may ask about the fringes and what's going on. We may break it down to him and tell him his judgment. But we not damn grabbing him up. You an Edomite, I'm going to put you to death. We're not doing all that. You can't be doing that. There's a time and a place for everything. All right, and this is not the time to be doing what Moses did. You can't see the oppression of your people and then go slay one of these modern-day Egyptians. These modern-day Romans. Like the Lord just said, you meddle much, you're not going to be innocent anymore. All right? Let's finish it off. It says, if thou follow after, see that? Because you may follow people. You got what the hell are they called, man? You got black militia. All right, they're trying to act out on what Moses did. They're trying to bring that back. Or we're going to start defending our neighborhoods. You're not going to defend nothing because Esau going to put you to death. So the Lord said, follow not after. You don't follow nobody neither. Don't look on TV and say, you know, the black militia, they're actually standing up for our people now. Let me go and try to join them. All right. Then if you get shot and you die, hey, you can't blame nobody but yourself. All right. Because you was following. All right, this is the book of Exodus 23 and verse 2. All right, this is Exodus 23 and 2. It says, thou shalt not follow a multitude to do evil. All right, neither shalt thou speak in a cause to decline after many to wrest judgment. So you got Jake, they're getting down with wickedness. Being a black militia, first and foremost, they're already going off by calling themselves black. That's a color. That's the color of their gear. And none of them is really black. That's just one thing. And then on top of that, they're trying to be militant. They're not trying to be militant behind the name of Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushai. They're trying to be militant behind their own name, behind their own cause. Anytime our people go out to war or do anything and try to fight against Esau without the power or strength of the Heavenly Father backing us up, you always end up falling and failing. All right, let's go to Numbers, the 14th chapter. All right, I'm going to start at verse 40. This is the book of Numbers 14 and verse 40. All right. It says, and they rose up early in the morning and gat them up into the top of the mountain, saying, lo, we be here, and will go up unto the place which the Lord hath promised, for we have sinned. Verse 41. So first, so you know what's going on, you had these Israelites, they were scared. to go and take the promised land. But they realized they sinned. They was going off by being scared. And now they're like, all right, we're going to go to the promised land now. Now we're ready to go. Verse 41. And Moses said, wherefore now do ye transgress the commandment of the Lord? But it shall not prosper. So they were trying to go and do it on their own time. You see, the Lord, he has things set up for a certain time. But you got Jake, they want to do their own thing. They think, well, you know what? I'm gonna just kind of do my own thing. I'm going to follow after my own heart. That's what they're doing. The Lord didn't tell them to go and do this right now. All right? Right now it's time for them to kind of chill and self-reflect on how they just sinned. Not to go out and then fight against the other nations and then now try to take the land back on your own time. All right? They was going off. It says, and he said it won't prosper. All right? Verse 42. Go not up, for the Lord is not among you. So when you go and you meddling in different matters, the Lord's not with you when you're doing that. Because now you're causing yourself to be a suspect. You went from being innocent to now being a suspect. All right? The Lord's not dealing with suspects, man. All right? Let's keep going. It says, go not up, for the Lord is not among you, that ye be not smitten before your enemies. See that? I hope you brothers and sisters think about this. Don't go and do this. Because I seen a video, there was an Eve. I don't know what happened. I can only speak on what I've seen with my own eyes. All right? But whatever happened, you had these Eves. There was in a Walmart or some type of store. You brothers and sisters, y'all may have seen this video. It kind of went, all Israel was kind of sharing that thing. All right, so you had this Eve. You know, she had her dress on and her fringes on. Clearly, she was in the truth. But she was with some other Eves that clearly were not in the truth. So she was amongst unbelievers. Whatever, I'm not getting on her for that. I don't know what's going on. You know, who knows what's going on with that. But anyway, the cop tried to arrest her, and she fought back. Then the cop ended up punching her in her face. Now, based off of that video and what's been seen, all right, that was judgment. Because if a cop tries to arrest me, I'm not going to fight the cop. I'm not going to try to hook the cop. I'm not going to push the cop. I'm not going to do that. All right? Remember, you got to look back even at Paul. All right? When he was being arrested, he knew he didn't do anything wrong. But he said, know what? If I really, he kind of went like, his hands was like this when they came up to him. Then he kind of went like this. He said, well, if I'm truly wrong, when we go to this court system, we're going to find out who's telling the truth and who's not. And he willingly went with them. All right? You see, he didn't fight back. You can't fight back because then you might get smitten by your enemies. Yahweh forbid, that sister could have got shot. She's lucky the Edomite just punched her. All right? And it was a good punch too. All right? But nonetheless, that sister, she could have died. You see, she acted out, and she acted out, but the Lord wasn't dealing with her actions. The way she went about that, the Lord is not dealing with that. All right, you should have done that a totally different way. So you have these Israelites, they're trying to go and fight these enemies, but Moses just said, the Lord is going to cause you to be smitten before your enemies because you're not doing this on the Most High's time. All right, verse 43, it says, for the Amalekites and the Canaanites are there before you, and ye shall fall by the sword, because ye are turned away from the Lord. Therefore the Lord will not be with you. But they presume to go up unto the hilltop. So you're going to have Jake, they're going to be very persistent. They say, well, you know, that's true, but no, I got to prove myself. All right, you got Jakes, they got something to prove, man. All right, it says, nevertheless, the ark of the covenant of the Lord and Moses departed not out of the camp. Then the Amalekites came down, and the Canaanites, which dwelt in that hill, and smote them, and discomfited them even unto Hormah. And when they got discomfited, meaning they was destroyed very bad, and now they're confounded. You see, when you go and do something that the Lord's not really dealing with, you're no longer innocent. So therefore, when judgment strikes upon you and falls upon you, you don't got nobody to blame but yourself because you ain't listening to the Most High. So don't be out there meddling in many matters. Let me read this one last time in Sirach 11 and 10. This is Sirach 11 and verse 10. My son, meddle not with many matters. And this goes for a lot of things, as I said in the beginning of the video. Somebody's business, all right? When it's concerning strife and debate, if it has nothing to do with you, you don't really want to get in there, all right? But you do have to have discernment, all right? Don't misunderstand what I'm saying, all right? But when certain things are going down, you don't really get involved in it. If you see two Jakes out there on the street just randomly arguing, you're not going to go over there and say, Shema, you relax. All right, you try and get in the midst of this damn squabble. All right, then one of the Jake kind of hook you. See, you deserve that. Because now you get into somebody else's business. It had nothing to do with you. All right? It says, my son, meddle not with many matters, for if thou meddle much, thou shalt not be innocent. And if thou follow after, thou shalt not obtain. Neither shall thou escape by fleeing. So you might try to run and get yourself out of that matter that you was meddling with, but the Lord, he's already ready to bring judgment on you. Why? Because you did something that wasn't really meant for you to do. All right. So Lord willing, you brothers and sisters, you meditate on this daily. All right. You don't really want to get into anybody's business. You don't want to get into anyone's strife and debate. All right. That's not really for you. All right. You kind of got to leave certain matters just on the table, man. All right. So with that being said, I want to give all honor and glory to the Most High Yahweh, which the world calls God, and Yahweh Shai, which the world calls Jesus Christ. Shalom, shalom, and Kwam Yashala.